So last summer, I challenged my subscribers to spend the season making something. It didn't matter what it was, the medium didn't concern me. It was all about taking that project that you have stored in the back of your head that you will always intend to get around to making and just making it. And you all answered the call. I made a whole video featuring some of the awesome things that people made, from art to music to movies. Wait, movies? Yeah, movies, as in an entire feature film. So I got a message from this guy named Daniel, who runs a channel called $5 Film School, telling me that he and his buddies in Chicago got together and made a movie over the summer for next to nothing, and they were finishing up post-production. Which is pretty crazy. 3 months did not seem like a whole lot of time to me. Yet they had already released a trailer and they were planning out their promotion and release strategy. Now here at my new studio, I'm hard at work on my own project. I've made a feature film before. I know how difficult the process can be, so needless to say, I was intrigued. First features tend to have harrowing productions. I know from experience that there is the story of your movie, and then there is the story of the making of your movie. I find I'm often far more interested in the latter, so I figured I would get it straight from the horse's mouth. So I booked a ticket to Chicago. Today, we are going to fly out there and get to the bottom of this intriguing summer project. Good morning.
I'd like to welcome you to Chicago, where the local time is 2 p.m.
Yeah, good to see you. All right, where are we going? Okay, so let's set some context here. Tell everybody who you are, what's your story?
I'm Dan Lotz, and this is Joel Dick. I'm the director of Chlorine, and Joel is the cinematographer.
How long have you guys known each other? How long have you been making movies together?
9, 10,
It's been like 10 plus years.
10 years. We both started making little videos, and we had a little camera. Well, we did like stuff like action shorts.
We did like these little like terrible action shorts when we were kids. After that, we got a little group, and every year the group would get smaller and smaller, and we were like, well, we are the last two people that really like film. So we're gonna do this together as like a company. We've been doing a little bit of music videos and then some
Weddings.
Corporate work, and we do a little bit of everything together.
So as your skills have improved, you've like started taking on more serious commercial work and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this thing, Chlorine, because I put out this call, hey, make something this summer. All of a sudden I get an email from one of you guys, or both of you, and you said, hey, we went out and we made a movie, like an actual legitimate feature film. I was like, yeah, sure you did. But then you sent a trailer to me. I watched this trailer, and I was like, wow, this looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. How did Chlorine come about? What's the story of the origins of this thing?
So we saw your Let's Make Something This Summer video. And I was immediately struck. I'm like, this guy is talking to me. He's talking directly to me. And I was kind of thinking about doing a project that summer. And you said, don't like lounge at your pool, go do something. And I was like, what if I made a movie where we lounge at the pool and we do it? So it was kind of like, once I came up with that idea, I called Joel, and Joel originally was like, oh, we have this other feature that we were working on, and he's sort of like, no, let's not do it. And I was like, okay. So I kind of hung up the phone and I just shot some stuff. And then I called Joel again. I was like, I got this great footage, just come and see it. Joel saw the footage, and then Joel was immediately on board once I started telling him more about the story idea.
Which is
Essentially the pitch is there's this overweight pool boy, played by me, and retired from doing like these hitman jobs. He has to take more contract jobs. And I guess the main hook towards the end of the film is that he has to end up killing his sister, her fiance. That makes a lot of tension between him and his sister and all the other people involved.
he has to kill her fiance, so that causes a lot of tension.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
This is where the inspiration came. You were lounging at the pool.
Yeah, this is where I came up with the idea. And this is when I saw the video of you saying do something. I was sitting at that pool and I watched the video and I thought, why don't I do a video right here?
Use what you have, you know? When in doubt, just,
you never know.
Look around.
When you sent me that email, it was presented to me as Chlorine in improv feature film.
Yes.
And I was like, that's a pretty bold premise. So did they just set up cameras and just like come up with it on the spot? What was the pre-production process of this thing?
It really wasn't.
This is I'll tell you the pre-production process. The pre-production process was Dan would be sitting at his computer. I would sit on Dan's his couch
Lap?
at his apartment.
The creative process, he would sit on the computer, you would sit on the couch.
And then he would say, all right, Joel, I have an idea of what we should do. What if? And that was it. And that was it.
Every day.
It was just every day.
And I would just be like, okay, so I have this idea. What if he goes to this location and then he gets a call from his sister, and then it would be like, okay, we filmed that piece. And we just kept piecing it together. There was only, I think, one scene that we wrote. It was, I don't want to spoil it.
So there was no like overall roadmap? You just kind of...
I would say the main roadmap was the characters. So he gave me basically what my character was going to be, what character I sort of was in conflict with, and then I tried to build on that conflict. And I just came from that. Just Dan telling me, hey, this is your character, this is my character.
So he kind of gave you a foundation and you kind of just built on that.
Exactly.
Now we're here in this warehouse, which is a location of a couple of the scenes of the film. When you're making a movie, just kind of off the top of your head in the way that you guys have done, how do you budget something like that? Is it like, how did you put it together?
I mean, hot dogs and handshakes, really. That would be the way I would describe it. It's just, what do you have in your wallet? Look at it. Okay, you got $500. That's what we used. And we just facilitated, okay, we have a location that's outside. Do we have to pay anything for that? No, it's free. So I think it's just getting creative and knowing, okay, I can't do what Hollywood can do, but I can do what I can do, which is find a warehouse. You could go to let's say there was a baseball
batting cage area that we knew.
And with all those little locations, you build up a production value to the film. I mean, we would just get in my dad's van. I'd just call him up and he'd be like, oh, you're taking the van again? He'd get like again? Like, really? And by the end, he was like tired, and the van sadly broke down a week after we finished.
So you killed his van?
We killed his van.
What was the worst day on set?
That's going to vary. Dan, you want to start or you want me to start? Because I know exactly.
I know what
He's like, I have the right answer, and I don't know what he's going to say.
So the worst day on set for me was the day we were outside for the whole day. And it was one of the hottest summer days. The day before, I shot a wedding, which drains you. You're on your feet all day. I have a huge rig. It's extremely heavy. And then I came to shoot. It was so hot outside, and we had to do 5 takes at one outside location, 5 takes at another outside location. I was tired. My character was in every single scene. I was so angry. Dan was like, directing. Joel, can you go a little louder? I remember right after the whole shoot was finally done, the sun had set. I knew there was no more shots. I got a huge Fiji thing of water, and it was down in seconds. I was so thirsty. I was so tired. I almost called Dan up saying, you know what, Dan?
Like, this is it.
Right.
The new improv might be that I'm not going to be on set anymore. This location is very interesting because Dan's wife, Elizabeth, suggested it, and we have, I think
a bunch of times. This is all brush, and you really couldn't get all the camera equipment through, so we had to climb over these rocks.
Oh, it gets nice and wet over here.
It's a pretty big contrast. This is probably right near this log, I remember.
Yeah.
This is where we use this as a marker to help figure out where we wanted to be.
Yeah, like frame, because we had the camera over here, it was just Dan and I.
It was literally just me and Joel, and it was 5 minutes from raining. In the last take, it started raining, and we had to book it from here with all of our gear to the car.
Well, it's just, come on, look at this. This is just,
if you look back here,
this just looks awesome.
We used this side for a different film.
Now, in contrast to that, what was the best day on set?
Well, I would say the Vegas scenes, because we got out there and everything just turned to gold. Every shot I looked at, I was like, this is going to be so great. And you're out in the fun weather, you're out in this very fun environment. I just had a camera and this little pistol grip tripod, and I would go around and I just put this little tripod on the ground and just shoot these shots.
When you go through all of this, there are good days and there are bad days. Having completed Chlorine, do you want to make another movie?
Yes.
100%.
For me.
Yes.
100%.
No question.
What are you going to take moving forward that you learned on Chlorine for the next project?
Using as little money as we did to make Chlorine happen sort of opened my eyes to what you can do with a small amount of money.
Yeah.
That it just, the possibilities start to become endless.
What advice would you give to the aspiring, let's say young teenage filmmaker or aspiring filmmaker who has a camera, probably not the best camera, has a some editing software, probably not the best editing software, but has a little bit of tools at their disposal. But they think, I can't start yet because XYZ. What would you say to them?
I would just say it's the tried and true. It might be a little cliche. You just got to do it. You got to just get up off your couch, and you have to realize that if you don't go and make something, you have nothing to build on. If you don't have a framework, how do you make a house? For filmmaking, what's your framework? Making short films, making projects, building up that repertoire. Joel and I have done hundreds of short films that have never been seen and never will see the light of day because of how bad they are. If you're out there, like the viewer, I'm specifically talking, there's one person out there that wants to make a film or wants to make an album or wants to make something, go on and make it and send it to me. We're not talking about this in a vague generality. We're talking to you specifically about trying to become more creative, to become a better artist. And if you make something, I would love to see it.
All the videos that are, I can't tell how many channels there are, just like your channel out there, that are motivating people to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, your video did it for us. You know, we're hoping any of our videos do it for anyone else.
Gentlemen, it's been good to meet you. Take care.
The safety card in your seat pocket explains the safety features of this airplane, including the location.
Thank you, ma'am. So congratulations to Daniel and Joel. First features are always a journey. They remind me a lot of myself when I was starting out, actually. They're very ambitious, but they're going out there and they're learning how to make stuff. I don't know what to expect from Chlorine. It is, after all, a first feature, but I feel like Daniel and Joel, they're proof positive that while not everybody is destined to be a great filmmaker, anybody can at least try. If you're out there and you have a camera and an idea and you've just been waiting for permission to go out and experiment and try things, consider this it. If there is something that you want to make, do what they did. Don't sit around pining for better conditions. Take the tools and the resources that you currently have available and get to work. I want to also say thank you to the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. They want to help make this the year that you improve your creative skill set and take your passion to the next level. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers practical classes designed for real life so you can move your creative journey forward without having to put the day-to-day on hold. They offer great classes on photography, film and video, animation, and more. If today's video inspired you to get up and make your own movie, check out this class by celebrated cinematographer and editor Maddie Brown on low-budget filmmaking, where you can learn tips and tricks to bring your ideas to life. Skillshare is incredibly affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month, but visiting the link in this video's description will give the first 500 of you 2 months of premium membership for free. Get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. Visit the link and start learning today.